Belichick's girlfriend has been banned from UNC's football practices, or hasn't she? An update on that. Is Jayson Tatum overrated? Will the Knicks take two at home this weekend and early next week? Also, we're talking Shedeur Sanders and the Browns. We got the best NFL memes of the week, too. That's coming up next on The Big Lead. What is up, and welcome to The Big Lead, the hottest stories in sports in less than an hour. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you're new to the channel, The Big Lead has you covered for all of the hottest trending sports stories in the world. And we talk about them here Monday through Friday, early in the morning, today an afternoon show, but we're also doing giveaways. You know, we got a lot of Lakers fans that watch this show. We're an LA-based show. Talk lots of purple and gold here. We're doing a jersey giveaway. Once we hit 2,000 subs, we're getting closer and closer to that. We're giving away Luka Doncic Lakers jersey. We'll talk some Luka later. Got my man J-Rob rocking with me today. We'll check in with J-Rob here in a second, but let's get to the hottest story right now, and that is a little bit of a strange story this Friday, and that is earlier this morning, sports journalist for ESPN Pablo Torre, he reported that North Carolina was banning Bill Belichick's girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, from their facilities. The university has since denied that rumor, prompting Torre to defend his reporting. He said, while Jordan Hudson is not an employee at the University of Carolina Athletics, she is welcome to the Carolina football facilities. Jordan will continue to manage all activities related to Coach Belichick's personal brand outside of his responsibilities for Carolina football and the university. So he put that out there almost sarcastically, and that was the university's response to the rumor. And he would go on to say that P.S. UNC can now choose to describe or change its position on Jordan Hudson's involvement however it wishes. Following the publication of our episode, we requested comment and filed dozens of Freedom of Information Act requests that were not satisfied, and we stand by the specific reporting in our episode, which came from the highest levels of the football program. So that's pretty interesting that both sides are denying the fact that the other one was right. Pablo Torre, who's been a credible journalist for a long time, you see him on Around the Horn on PTI. He definitely has some credibility. He's not some hashtag trust me bro sources. He's saying that UNC football is banning Jordan Hudson, and then if anything, they changed their stance on the fly. So who knows if that was the case. You know, if you get you caught up, Jordan Hudson has definitely made some headlines. You can see it right here. A lot younger. Could be his daughter. Could probably be his granddaughter. She's 24. And they had a really awkward interview a couple of weeks ago where Jordan Hudson wouldn't let Bill Belichick talk about how they met. There were some rumors floating around, keyword rumors, that she was a female escort and things like that. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just trying to tell you what the streets are saying. And now this comes on the heels of that. I will say that this has really started to just ramp up. It really has. I mean, because he went on there to talk about his new book in that recent interview, was asked about how the relationship began, and then she's off camera telling him what to say and what to do. Now, if you've ever been with a crazy chick, if you've ever been with a wild chick, sometimes it's a lot of fun, and you would see this as being worth it. But if I'm a North Carolina football fan right now, I'm scared about this. I'm not happy about this. And if I'm Bill Belichick, I'm saying, man, like, this needs to stop. It needs to be about the football program. And poor Bill, I mean, he was close to having to not have to deal with her at work. I mean, from that situation. But I clearly think that this is something we're going to be following. I mean, there's not enough popcorn in the universe to follow this. It's one of the biggest stories in college football. This guy who's a future, I mean, he's right up there with Vince Lombardi, right, as one of the best, most accomplished football coaches ever. and he goes to North Carolina, kind of a surprise school. And then people are wondering why he's even coaching. He still loves to coach. And now he's got this girl. So I definitely think that this is not going to end well for North Carolina. I just don't think this is going to end well. I don't even know if Bill Belichick's still even a good football coach at this point, let alone one that style will translate to 18 to 22-year-old young men. And then, I mean, she could be dating the players more likely than him. So, I mean, it's a weird situation down in Chapel Hill. And clearly someone's lying. And I think it's the Tar Heels. I think that they did try to ban her, but I think the backlash was a lot. I think Bill Belichick said, you know what? Hey, keep my girl here or I'm leaving. And I think that's probably what happened, something along those lines. But J-Rob, this is an interesting story to say the least. What's your read on the situation?
Yeah, I just feel like you hit it on the nose. I mean, it feels like one of those situations where essentially they probably had a bit of a conversation, raised their concerns. I also think everything that's happened with Shannon Sharp and his situation looming, I think it calls for some concerns. But the problem is once those news gets out and the media gets a hold of it, it becomes a bit of a snowball. And so I think they just kind of try to sweep it under the rug like that never happened. But, you know, these journalists, they're not reporting if they didn't hear it from like some sort of credible source. So somebody who was within the UNC organization or who was close definitely made the commentary to this journalist, or the report would have never came out. It wasn't, I agree, it's not like a trust me bro kind of thing, a leave it out of thin air type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, other than the other way to look at it is like, yeah, Pablo Torre is trying to get this other podcast off. And one way to bring attention to it is plant stories like this. And now everyone's running to watch that clip and listen to that podcast. So promotional wise, it's kind of worked. I mean, that's like us being like, oh, the Lakers don't want Savannah James at practice or something, right, just out of thin air. No one's going to just say something crazy or random like that. So there's got to be some truth to it. And I think that the bottom line is it just feels weird. Like bottom line, this does not feel like a good situation for Bill Belichick. But hey, winning cures all. If he wins, great. If he loses and she's like on the sideline as like the water girl, or she's grabbing the clipboard and trying to call plays or something like that, it's going to get weird very, very soon. And yeah, I don't love this for Bill. Here's the thing too. I just kind of like the bigger picture look at this too. I think that this is a strange last chapter to what should go down as a very all-time great level head coach, right? I mean, look at how Nick Saban went out. I mean, he lost in the national championship game. Now he's respectfully on College game day. Bill Belichick coached, and if he wins, great, and that would change everything. But kind of a weird ending to his career as far as the last chapter. But switching gears to the association, let's talk some Jayson Tatum. So Jayson Tatum and the Boston Celtics, they did something that no one really does, and that is choke away consecutive 20-point leads in the fourth quarter. They absolutely melted down against the Knicks in game 1 and in game 2, and Jayson Tatum has struggled in both games. He's owned it. He said he has to play better, but I bring my facts to the fight. He absolutely reeks this series. He's gone 12 for 43, shot 28%. He's 5 for 20 from beyond the arc, shooting 25% from deep in the 2 games. And you look at his crunch time numbers. His crunch time numbers are disastrous. He has 1 field goal and 6 points in the last 9 minutes. That's just awful. I mean, you look at his crunch time numbers through these 2 games. I mean, outside of that turnover at the end where he got blocked by Mikal Bridges, he had the full court dunk. He's gone 1 for 7 in clutch situations. Now, a clutch situation is when the game's within 5 points in the final 5 minutes of the game. He has been a no-show when it matters most for the Boston Celtics. And this is a player who just did a Superman ad, a commercial that tries to make him out to be Superman. He has been everything but that for the Boston Celtics. And then you add the fact that his team, the way they're shooting, it's gross. I mean, look at the 3-point shooting that they've had. This is a team that's just jacking up 3 after 3 in both games, thinking that that's going to be a way to beat this Knicks team. It's a strategy that I don't think is going to work. I really think this Knicks team's a great spot. And I think that Jayson Tatum is the most overrated player in the NBA. I think that Jayson Tatum has been mentioned by guys like Bill Simmons. Bill Simmons said he's 50 to 75% better than last year. Could you be more biased and delusional? People saying that he should be one of the faces of the league. People want to keep in the conversation with guys like Giannis and Luka and Jokic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. No, he's not in that tier. He's not sitting at that table. If you put Jayson Tatum on a bad roster, they would not be a playoff team. If he was the best player on the worst roster, that team wins 15 to 20 games. If you look at the clutch stats for Jayson Tatum since 2021, if you look at the clutch stats since 2021 in the NBA, his effective field goal percentage is 41.1%. That's 19th in the NBA. First is Jokic, second is Curry, fourth is LeBron James. You know who's third? The guy who was falsely overrated, and Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton's third. Brunson is fifth. These are all dudes you think of making big shots, and the numbers back that up. Jokic, Curry, Halliburton gets his own rebound, steps back, makes a big three. Jalen Brunson, the Brunson burner. De'Aaron Fox, DeMar DeRozan, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, his own teammate Jaylen Brown, Luka Doncic, Anthony Edwards, KD, Tyler Hero, Trae Young, Tyrese Maxey, DeJounte Murray, Donovan Mitchell, and Jimmy Butler. Every single one of those guys has put up better clutch numbers than Jayson Tatum. The truth is, he's a product of being in a great team, in a great organization, with a balanced, talented roster, in a great system. That's what Jayson Tatum is. He's not Jokic, right? Jokic has some pieces, but he's an elite player that gets the talent around him to rise, right? You guys know the meme, the Bugatti at the trailer park meme. Jayson Tatum is the opposite, right? He is the 3 Series Beamer parked at a Beverly Hills mansion, right? Not a bad car, still a luxury car, but not a super car. Not a Ferrari, Lamborghini, Bugatti, Rolls Royce, any of those guys we just mentioned. I would say Jayson Tatum's the most boring superstar too. I mean, cookie cutter image, nice guy. He's kind of chasing those moments after, and he's not a bad player. He's a really good player. He's just a second tier player. He's not a first tier superstar, and that's how he's made out to be. He's a B plus that some people treat as an A to A plus. That's who Jayson Tatum is. And this sounds like I'm being a hater, and I kind of am a little bit. He's a Duke Celtic. I mean, that's a lot for me. But I mean, this is a guy who tries to tout himself as, you know, he wore the purple armband for Kobe Bryant, wanted to shoot in those clutch moments. He's got a lot to prove in this series. Let's just put it that way. Change the narrative on you. You want to change the narrative on you? You go into New York on the biggest stage in Madison Square Garden and you ball out. That's what we need to see. That's what we need to see from Jayson Tatum. But I'll stand by it. I mean, most overrated star in the NBA is Jayson Tatum. But J-Rob, give me your Tatum takes.
So I think the overrated tag is honestly no fault of Jayson Tatum. It's the media. When you're the problem is, you know, we've had a basketball community that if you're the best player on the best team at the time, we put you in a category that sometimes you don't need to be in. And the thing is, if the Celtics let's just say they were to go back to back, let's say they win the championship this year, I'd still take about 8 players before I take Jayson Tatum. He's not a superstar. He's a star. He's an all-star. I thought Nick Wright said it best. He's the Kobe Bryant of Paul George's. He's the best version of a certain style of player. And look, I don't want to sound like a hater to Jayson Tatum either, because I do think he has had a great career. He's a champion. He will definitely go down in Celtics lore. But watching him play in this series, I mean, this is why people are skeptical about the player that he is. And truthfully, I think he's a little too mild-mannered at times on the court. I also blame Joe Mazzulla for creating a bit of a problem with the team, their identity being they're not the 2017, 2015 Golden State Warriors. They're truly not, but they play in a system that demands the three. And you can tell that Jayson Tatum, I would argue in his first 2 years in the NBA, he was better at attacking the rim than he is in these last 2 seasons in the NBA. And you hit it on the nose when you have a good system around you, good organization. I mean, you have your first 8 players are legitimate NBA starters, not fringe rotational guys. These are all players who on other lineups are starting or is the 6th guy off the bench and legitimately contributing to the playoffs. And the reality when it comes to Jayson Tatum, when I look at the top of the league, when I look at LeBron, Luka Doncic, Ant-Man, Nikola Jokic, SGA, Jalen Brunson, Kevin Durant, even Kawhi Leonard, I could not see myself taking a Jayson Tatum and throwing him with that group of guys because I just don't think he's in that category. He has so much left to prove. And the reality is I truly feel like they're going to lose this series. Not just because I'm a Knicks fan. I'm from that side of the country. They're not great with physicality, the Boston Celtics. And it starts with Tatum and Brown. They get stripped pretty easy. They don't seem like they have a plan when they get inside the paint because they don't shoot the mid-range well. And so ultimately the root of him being overrated is that their success last year doomed him because people were putting him in conversations that he truly just never belonged in.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are all valid points. I mean, the fact that you bring up that, this is media driven a little bit in the sense of, hey, the Boston Celtics, a marquee franchise, guys like Bill Simmons, let's be honest. I mean, that's the biggest voice in basketball as far as like a podcaster. He's a Celtics fan who's been overrating Tatum. I mean, you could tell Bill Simmons, hey, Bill, like, who would you rather take? I mean, you got prime LeBron, prime Jordan, and he'd probably be like, I think I'm taking Tatum. I think I'm taking Tatum. I think I gotta take Tatum. Like he really would do that, right? And to me, it's almost like if you would ask Chat GPT, give me an NBA superstar, it'd be like Jayson Tatum, right? He's like, you ordered an NBA superstar from Temu, right? It's like he's a star, but it's like that extra sauce isn't in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that extra like sauce, like that vulnerability. Like it was the thing, like Ant has had 2 crappy games in a row.
Yeah.
But like he's freaking Ant, bro.
He's Ant.
It's like he rolls up in the Adidas sweatsuit and like he says what he says and people just kind of like who he is and like he's unapologetically himself, whereas he's doing the thing where he's moment farming, he's trying to copy KG, right? You know what they're gonna say now and all that stuff. So look, I will say this. I'm trying to go so far on that side to where it's like now I can like officially like either be completely proven wrong by him or be like, oh yeah, I mean, see, this is it. Cause like he's at a point this year where it's like, hey, like you're down a hole to the Knicks. You got to step because you played poorly and we'll see what this Knicks team does. Let's talk a little bit about the Knicks, by the way.
Yes.
The Knicks, I think if you're Adam Silver and you're the NBA, you want to see this Knicks team go past this round because you're fresh, you're new. You've got players with grit like Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, who's been hitting the 3 at an extremely high clip. Jalen Brunson gives you big buckets in big moments. Mikal Bridges scored 0 points till the 4th quarter. Then he absolutely came alive on both sides of the ball. He's been an absolute spark plug for that team. And the Knicks are in a really good spot. Going home, I will say this, though. I mean, Bridges was big, man. 14 of the Knicks, 30 points in the 4th quarter. I mean, he was just incredible with that one. But I look at a Celtics team that has been great on the road. They've outscored their opponents by 9.5 points per 100 possessions. And I still think that the Celtics are probably going to take a game in New York. I don't see the New York Knicks taking both at home. I hope I'm wrong because the Knicks, I want to see win the title, right? But I just, the Celtics team, they're still really deep. At some points, their 3-point shooting madness is due for some regression to the mean. I think the Knicks, there's a pretty decent chance that that they take the split, which is good. You're up 3-1. But do you see them taking 2 at home?
So I'll say this. If the Celtics don't win tomorrow in the Garden, because D-Mac, the Garden, I mean, it's going to be an earthquake in the city on Saturday. You'll be able to feel it in New Jersey. I mean, it is going to be an electric atmosphere. The pressure is all on the Celtics to win one game. I don't see it happening. I think with Porzingis and whatever sickness he has, whatever's killing him on the inside, they don't have a big that can deal with. Like Al Horford can't really guard anybody anymore. And Porzingis is not enough to anchor the rim. And so I do feel like the matchup is becoming a problem. You're going to be relying heavily on Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown to kind of carry. I think because they don't have some of the balance that they relied on, them having to carry is going to be to their detriment. I think the pressure is going to be immense. D-Mac, if they don't win game 3, I think it could legitimately be a sweep, because I just don't see a world where you go down 3-0 when you probably had no idea or no thought that you would blink and be down 3-0 to the Knicks in the Eastern Conference semis. And so if that becomes the case, I do think the Boston Celtics have one of the most, I think it'll be the biggest collapse in franchise history.
Yeah, I mean, it's a major sweep. I mean, definitely would be a eyesore for a team to come off a championship with the year they had to lose to this Knicks team. But hey, the Knicks have the momentum. They got the juice, and game 3 would be huge because they really put their backs against the wall, where then it's just a formality, right? If you get it's weird because, like, if you lose game 3 and you are the Knicks, then it's okay, it's a 2-1 series.
Yeah.
But then you win game 4, you're like, okay, we're up 3-1, but then they go back to Boston. You win game 3, no team's ever come back from down 3-0.
Right.
It's only a matter of time to win this series. But go New York, go New York, go. Okay, so talk some LeBron. LeBron James was on a recent episode of his Mind the Game podcast. He spoke about his injury and the length of the recovery, and he was talking a little bit about the series. He said, I knew as soon as when the impact happened with me and DiVincenzo, I felt it right away. My knee locked up, and that's why I stayed on the ground for quite a minute to see if the knee would kind of release a little bit, but I knew right then and there it was pain that I hadn't felt before. Clearly, LeBron was on social media and was seeing people hate on him for being on the ground for as long as he was, but still, the update is LeBron says 4 to 6 weeks. The docs told me I have 4 to 6 weeks now. He talked about the series kind of at length and just kind of going through with it. And yeah, I mean, he said that the benefit of kind of getting out when he did was being able to recover sooner and quicker. I will say, I mean, I saw some other clips from it where LeBron was saying stuff like, at this point in my career, that loss doesn't haunt me. People are like, how the F did you lose that? You had LeBron and Luka. Well, there were 8 to 10 other guys too. I think LeBron is just, I mean, he's been through so many battles, so many series. He knows when he has a championship team. And I don't think that LeBron thought that was a championship team. And that's kind of where he's at on that. Now, as far as Luka did say recently that he loves being in LA, that he loves the fact that the fans have really accepted him, that the city of Los Angeles has accepted him. He said that it's been amazing. And I think that there's no doubt about it. Luka Doncic is going to sign that extension with the Lakers. I think that when you look at the money that he could make, and we talked about a couple episodes ago, $228.6 million through 2029 and 2030, or you could take a shorter extension, get the full money elsewhere. I think that Lucas saw what he needed to see with the Mark Williams trade, with the fact that, hey, we're going to try to build a team around you. You got guys like you got guys like Clint Capella that could be available, Miles Turner. You go the free agent route, you can make some trades. But as far as the Giannis trade, I don't think this is going to happen for the Lakers. The best deal that they can make, we've talked about it on the show. The Bucks get Reeves, Rui, Vanderbilt, Dalton Connect, a 2031 first round pick, and a 2026 pick swap for Giannis. Unless Nico Harrison becomes the GM of the Bucks, that's not going to happen. And I don't think that you're going to see Luka Doncic on another team. This is not a Dwight Howard situation where they traded for him. He left when the contract is up. That's not going to happen. But I do think that at the very least, the Lakers have a pretty good understanding of their limitations from a roster spot. But yeah, what do you make of LeBron's comments? I mean, some fans are taking it as like, oh, LeBron is not haunted by this loss. That means he didn't care and this and that. I just think that he was more realistic than anything else. And he's saying what other players wouldn't say.
Yeah. I think LeBron has gotten to a point in his career, D-Mac, is like, damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. Because regardless of what he says is going to be overly analyzed. I think he's got to a point in his career where he doesn't care as much about every bit of commentary, unless you talk about his son. Then it is time to have a legitimate conversation, which I think is legitimately fair. reality is I hate to admit this now because I was so excited for this team, but they did overachieve a bit. You know what I'm saying? They never got that center. There were some flaws there. Weren't great defensively on the perimeter. And so I think he was true about what happened as a result of that. And I think Steve Nash even said it. Like, it's not like, you got hurt and the Timberwolves got lucky. You guys legitimately lost. They just beat you guys. And that happens. There's things you got to improve on. I mean, Rob Pelinka went out and said that he is looking to get a roster that works around Luka and LeBron that's going to help them at least achieve the championship. It seems like Rob Pelinka wants, at least before LeBron leaves, to get number 5. And obviously they got to work towards building around Luka as well. But I think because of the style of players they both are, since the skill sets are a bit similar, you can kind of put the same pieces around both of them for it to work. But ultimately, LeBron is at the point where he can kind of just nudge off some of these narratives and just say, look, this is what happened. I'm not going to make excuses for it. And then those LeBron deflectors are never going to be happy regardless. He could have said it was the worst loss of his career and he felt horrible about it. And somebody would say, well, don't be so dramatic, LeBron. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think you're totally onto something there. I think that, like, people want confirmation bias. They want to fill their narratives. I know all about that, trust me. But I think that, like, I'm on the side of, dude, like, this is how he felt. Yeah. Because, I mean, what would they want LeBron to do? Oh, I can't sleep. I'm losing sleep every night because we lost and we had no center. Right. I mean, it's just, look, I appreciate the fact that there's more things that you can be upset about than LeBron saying that a loss didn't haunt him. Right. And that's just the truth. Now, switching gears to Jador Sanders. And I thought this was pretty interesting. Now, of course, he reported to Browns camp. They got a pretty loaded QB room, Flacco, and you got Dylan Gabriel. You got lots of guys to compete there. But NFL analyst Andrew Hawkins said on Dan Le Batard's show, he has a theory where he said, I have a theory that if Shiloh Sanders and Jador Sanders swap personalities, they both would have been drafted in the first 2 rounds because Jador has a defensive back's personality, and you can't have that at the quarterback position. Pretty interesting because, like, Shiloh Sanders, of course, he does sign, I believe, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes. And
3 years, 2.8.
That's a solid deal for him. I mean, he just wants an opportunity to show what he can do, right? Yep. I mean, he's clearly probably already has more than $2.8 million in his bank account. Right? Exactly. He's all good. His parents' mortgages are not being paid for. They've been paid for. Right?
NIL is probably double, triple that.
Yeah. His teeth are probably more than that. You know what I mean? Like, so he's a great looking guy. Yeah. Different than Jador in the sense that, like, I mean, that small moment from draft day where Jador was kind of doing the whole prank thing, and then they had the video of him before that where he was like, "Oh, if that's how they're doing you, like that's how they do me, buddy." Yeah. And I think that would have made a difference. I would say only if Shiloh was prepared for that Giants meeting to go crazy on the whiteboard on the X's and O's level. If they had the same tape, I don't know if that would have been that big of a difference. I still think that picking Dylan Gabriel ahead of Jador was wrong. You can make the case picking Shuck ahead of him was wrong. I think Jalen Milroe actually should have been the 3rd quarterback taken in this draft. I mean, arguably. You said so. I think that people are overblowing the personality thing at the end. I almost think that. Yeah. I almost think that for Jador, it was always going to be not just the personality, but the name behind the personality. Yeah. Are we drafting just you, or are we getting Coach Prime and everything that comes along with that? And is that going to pressure us to play you and make you a part of our future? That could have hurt him in the end. We'll see. I mean, let's say if you had just let's say you had taken Jador's stats and just put that in an Alabama quarterback and Jalen Milroe with the same number of wins and losses,
he'd be the first guy selected.
I think Cam Ward still shows better tape, but I think he would have been selected before Jackson Dart.
I think he might have gone top 5 just because of his athleticism.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, the accuracy downfield, the things that he brings, we know are solid. But at the end of the day, for Jador, the whole Deion Sanders prime stuff kind of hurt him when you thought it would help him.
Yeah, that's the craziest part of this whole thing.
You never say that. Yeah,
I truly thought because of him being in a limelight, like he was on a reality TV show as a kid. You know, he's been in a spotlight for a long time. D-Mac, I truly thought that was going to work to his benefit because if I'm a GM, if I'm an owner, I think like this could be a franchise guy because he's had the weight of the world on his shoulders since a kid. He's had expectations because of who his father is. He's had cameras in front of him. He's had to really maintain his image for such a long time. And Shedeur Sanders has never been in any trouble. Never been in any trouble. The issue that people have with him is like his personality, but it's not like you don't have nobody calling about Shedeur did this to me at school, or, you know, he got into a fight, or a girl comes out and says this about him. He's never been in any of these situations. So I truly thought because of how he's been able to handle the spotlight and then the terrible offensive line and the numbers he put up, I thought he showed all the capabilities to be able to deal with chaos, you know, and as a rookie quarterback, that's what you have to deal with. So I was so confused that it was to his detriment.
Yeah. And I think honestly, like that, I don't think just my instincts and the way I just have heard him speak in interviews, I don't think that he embraced the interview process. Right. I think he kind of would look back to regret that because I think what you're saying is something that he should have leaned all the way in on in interviews. Like, guys, look, being the quarterback of the Giants, hey, I know you got a lot of spotlight on you. You got a lot of spotlight on you. I understand that playing in this market, so much pressure on you, but like I was prime son. I was on a reality TV show. Right. Nothing can faze me. This and that. And I know I got to work harder, this and that. But I mean, like, it doesn't feel like he did that because I think he assumed that his floor was end of the first round. Like I think he thought his doomsday nightmare scenario was I'm getting picked 32.
Or I'm going to the Steelers at 21 back end.
Yeah.
But I would add,
and that's where his dad being his agent hurt him too.
I was just literally what I was going to say to you. I said that's Dion being the agent, D-Mac. Like you need somebody who's going to say like, Shedeur, this is what they're saying. I need you to change your answers a bit because this is what
first bad interview. The first bad interview, like, hey, like, just put away the chains. Even though I think it's cool. I live for that stuff. I live for that. Like just for 1 month, and then after you drafted, put the chains on, be who you really are. But just kind of keep it buttoned up. Go to Men's Warehouse. Get a nice suit or whatever it may be, and kind of be who they want you to be. We talked about it on the show a little bit, and I do think that had that been reversed with Shiloh, maybe like seriously, just the attitude of Shiloh does seem more of like, hey, I'm a little more kind of grounded. Yeah, Shedeur is a little more like. I'm a quarterback's mentality, right? Yeah. Like the world revolves around the quarterback. The world revolves around me type of thing. But the moral of the story is do not be an athlete don't be the son of a legendary athlete and hope to have success or hope to have everyone pulling for you. Because just like Bronny James, when you're the son of a legendary athlete, they prey on your downfall. They want nothing more than for you to not have success.
And Bronny had a heart attack, and they were hard on him. You know what I'm saying? For real, I'm serious. Bronny literally had a cardiac arrest, and they gave him no leeway, no grace.
Yeah, you know how it is, and the opinions are strong. But like I said, I have gone all in on Shedeur Sanders wanting to be the quarterback of Cleveland because, too, I don't want Cleveland to want a quarterback next year because I want Arch Manning to go to another team. But, the funny thing is everyone loves Arch Manning, by the way. I'm just saying. Right. Okay, we're going to wrap it up with producer Rob has this cooked up for the best NFL memes of the week. And, of course, the biggest news in the world. The biggest news in the world is there is a new pope. The new pope. And he's from America. Pope Leo the 14th. From Chicago. From the Chi. Did you see that there was a funny... I don't think we had this. There was a funny tweet that had the stained glass. It said the new stained glass in the St. Peter's Basilica, and it was Jordan.
I saw that.
But let's check out the memes. Okay, Rob, what you got cooked up for us? He's cooking. As we get there, here we go. Okay, so this one is. Let me cook it up on my phone so I can read it. But this one is the city of Chicago has produced a pope before. Here we go. The city of Chicago has produced a pope before they produced a quarterback who threw for 4,000 yards. Okay, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. And I hope that Caleb Williams saw this. I hope that Ben Johnson saw this and Colson Loveland and Romo Dunze saw this and they're motivated by it because, Chicago need a little more QB production. Okay, next one, Rob. We got this one's, we We just spent time supporting this dude, and now we're gonna get him back down. Time taken to get picked. New Pope 2 days. Shador Sanders 3 days.
Insane. Absolutely insane.
That's good. That's good. Shador's got to laugh at that.
Yeah, fact.
Yeah,
you got to.
Okay, what else we got? We really got a new Pope before Aaron Rodgers made his decision. It's a good one. I like that.
Oh my goodness.
A new Pope has been selected. Get it? Cardinals. The pick is in. I see what you right there. And then a little NFL draft song. That makes everything great.
Yeah.
What else we got? All right. The Cardinals are wearing their color rush uniforms to select a Pope. Elite. That's elite. That's good stuff. All right, Rob, keep going. Okay, they're reporting on this like it's the NFL draft. They got age 72, leads a small church. I mean, this is good stuff.
America could not wait to get a Pope.
I'm all in. I'm all in on Pope Leo. I'm all in. Not Catholic, but I'm going to become one.
Shout out to Pope.
Shout out to Pope Leo, man. Okay, report. This was good. Report. Mel Kiper, furious. The new Pope is not Shador Sanders. Good stuff. Support poor Mel Kiper Jr., man. All right, what else we got? All right, the new Pope is from Chicago. Perhaps they'll start having Hail Marys go their way now. Of course, this is the Jaden Daniels to Noah Brown. Yeah. That was a classic game of the year, honestly. One of the games of the regular season.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's keep it moving here. A couple more. We have got
shit.
We saw an American Pope before we saw Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl. Ouch. True. Hey, they're going to stop doing that GTA 6 theme now, right?
Facts, yeah, it's going to stop production.
Yeah. So that used to be a thing, right? We got a new Pope before GTA 6.
We literally got an American Pope before the game.
The Vatican, after electing an American Pope, you got a Costco, a Walmart. Is that a Waffle House? What is that, Rob? Is that a donut thing?
Oh, no. What is that called?
Is that
Buffalo Wild Wings?
No, it's
is that B-Dubs, a Dutch brother?
Oh, why can't I remember the name? It's like it's no, it's like a gas station that's really popular, like in the South.
Loves 76.
It's gonna. I'm so mad I can't remember it, but I do know the logo.
I love that though. Are we good for today? Any more? All right, okay, this is my favorite one. This is my favorite one of the week. George Pickens went from nobody to throw him the ball to having nobody who can throw him the ball, but around 4:25 p.m. on Fox.
Dude.
That is
leave Dak alone.
Leave Dak alone. I don't know, man. I like that move for them. Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. You got
do too.
Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Puka, and Tay.
Automatically a top 8, top 10 duo.
For sure. I mean, you got Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson.
It's not even close.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch. I mean, the Cowboys. You love them, you hate them, you're going to have an opinion on them for sure. But that's going to do it for this episode of The Big Lead. If you're new, guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back Monday. Okay, real quick. I got the Nuggets tonight, and I'm going to take the Cavs somehow winning game 3 on the road.
What the Halliburton?
Oh, there you go.
What the Halliburton?
They're winning tonight, huh? They're going to run away with that series.
They're sweeping them.
What's the status on Mobley? He's out? It's questionable. You think he plays?
I don't.
All right, who you got tonight?
I got Pacers and OKC.
Oh, Pacers and OKC. If you guys don't know, producer Noel, guy who stars on the show a lot too, he has 15 teams, so you really can't lose. One of his teams is going to win the NBA Finals. Can't go wrong, right? Even if he's losing, one of his teams is winning for sure. But that's going to do it, guys. All right, guys. How about you, Rob? Who you got tonight? Nuggets, or you got Nuggets?
I got Nuggets, definitely Nuggets, and that. And no, actually, I got Thunder. I think I got Thunder. I can't root for the Nuggets as a Lakers fan. And then who else? Oh, that's the Cavaliers and the
Pacers.
Big Pacers. Big on Pacers. So.
Yeah.
All right, who takes the Warriors series? I think the Timberwolves come back and win.
I'm going Minnesota.
Yeah. Go Warriors?
I go Minnesota.
Noel's always right, so that means they're going to win. Noel's been really cooking.
He's had a good playoff prediction. He's had good playoff predictions. But he played it safe, though. That's why. He's played it safe all playoffs long. I'm on to him. Yeah, no upsets. He played it safe. Oh, yeah, he did have it. But he did that to spite me, though. That was to spite me. That was out of spite. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, there's our picks, guys. That's going to do it, but that's going to do it for The Big Lead. See you guys next week. And until next week, I'm out.